I'm Mike from Singer Off Road. We're here at Jeep Beach with Krista.
AKA Fake Wrenching, AKA NotMJG, AKA Michigan Jeep Girl.
We're gonna go over our new Jeep JL kits.
Yeah, I would love to have one of these kits. I have a Sport. If anyone is familiar with the Sport, it's basically the base model Jeep. I couldn't afford a Rubicon, so I do feel like I missed a lot of the luxuries. So when I was searching around online, I ended up coming across your guys' company. Read that it was plug and play, but I still felt like it was way over my head, and just looking at all this stuff on the table is still a little bit overwhelming for me.
It looks overwhelming, but we're gonna get this thing all put together and you're gonna see really how user-friendly it is. How comfortable are you on a 1 to 10 with install techniques?
I fake wrench, so I'm a solid -1.
What is this?
That is a Phillips. That's
Perfect.
as far as we go. That's as far as we go.
That's okay. What you're gonna start off with is the assembly part, or the actual dash kit, when mounts into the vehicle.
Okay.
And everything kind of mounts into this structure. If we take a look at the way the instructions are working,
Yeah.
it's pretty simplistic. What you're gonna do is you're gonna take this thing and we're gonna hang it right between these two mounts with wire ties. All right, so at this point, you're basically just gonna start snatching these things tight, and it'll literally draw the kit.
Yeah,
where
it's
you
setting
want it to
itself,
go.
yeah.
Right, so the next thing is we're going to go to step 2, like literally step by step, right? So take the the double-sided tape.
Yeah.
We're gonna put it on the back of the PD1 module. So stick it right over top of the pack logo. All right, so once we have this done, now we're gonna mount the brain of the radio. So in this guy, we're gonna take the mount right back here like this. And literally you're gonna line up the screws. Okay, so at that point, there's a pretty good chunk of our stuff already starting to come together, right? So it's starting to make a little bit of sense of what we're doing.
Yeah, and that was pretty simplistic stuff.
Okay, so the next part is mounting the screen into the actual flush mount kit.
Okay.
All right, so this typically, you're just gonna flip it over, and you're gonna take the screws that are in the accessory pack, and again, just simply lining them up to the previous, just like we did on that guy.
Okay, yeah.
Right?
And we're Phillips again?
Yep, we're Phillips again. I usually try to start these by hand just because it's, we're going into the screen. So go ahead and tighten that up.
Yeah, that's definitely something that you want to start by hand and not over tighten it at all, because I can already tell that you really don't need to like go hard on this.
And if you're doing this by yourself, the
Yeah.
good thing to do would get a towel and put it on your work surface. And that way you can put the screen face down on that towel.
Yeah, that would be smart.
So at this point, we're looking at the bottom of the radio.
Yeah.
Okay, so we can flip that guy over and you're looking exactly like you see at step 1.
Yeah, so it's actually exactly, okay, well, like a picture.
All right. So at that point, you start to weave this guy into the mix. So 16-pin connector, literally just plug it in until it snaps. So it's pretty simple at this point, and then we're just going to continue to start putting the pieces of the puzzle together.
So the directions are all online then?
Yep,
Or-
everything's
okay.
online, and the reason we do that is, as we've learned, this thing started out in 2018, right? As they've progressed in some of the different trim levels, we've learned different techniques that require things to be taken apart. If we put that manual in the box, it's outdated by the time we
Yeah,
ship
that's
it.
true.
So if we can maintain it all online, we can continue to keep it upgraded.
Yeah,
and
that's
move-
smart.
Move it forward. So again, starting out, now we have all of the main harness all plugged in, but it's still like, wow, still got a lot of ways to go, right? Still got more stuff to do. Now we're gonna route this big guy. This is for all of our accessories that we're gonna plug into this Jeep as you progress your installs down the road.
Okay.
If you add an amplifier, if you add extra cameras, things of that nature, we can go up to 4 more camera inputs on this.
Oh, wow.
So not just the factory backup camera.
Okay.
We can do a front camera, we can do side cameras, we can do a gearbox camera, whatever you want to identify.
Okay. Now you can kind of see why it's intimidating though for someone that literally has never done anything like this before.
Right.
Like I'm looking at this and I'm like, well, I can tell the color goes to like the color at least, but.
And that's probably the smartest way to look at it too,
Yeah.
from an install perspective, right?
But I
So-
mean, if somebody puts the color to the wrong color, that's on them.
Right. So at this point, we're almost ready to go to the vehicle. So there's a couple things we'll prep on the vehicle. We'll run the communication cable over behind the glove box. We'll get that up behind the radio. So let's kind of step over to the Jeep here
Okay.
and we'll go from there. So at this point, we're gonna start taking the dash apart. So we've read through the instructions. We kind of know what we're doing here at this point, right? So step one is taking the centerpiece off. So you need a pry bar for this part.
Okay.
So-
And where does somebody get one of these?
So you can get them at most automotive shops, like a Pet Boys or something of that nature. So like I said, usually you're gonna find an edge that you can kind of get the pry bar started into,
Yeah.
and then pull this panel straight back towards you.
Okay.
Okay, so I would probably start along here and here, and then like I said, once you kind of feel the edging kind of come free, then you're just gonna kind of
Okay.
pull the clips accordingly. It's gonna be, the first time's always a little tight.
Okay. So I'm just gonna like right here.
All right, so just give a little pull.
Okay. So should I go all the way?
Yeah, try to
Okay.
work the panel, kind of, and push the tool down further, so that
Okay.
way you see how it's starting to separate.
Yeah, it's separating.
Yep. Now, at this point, I would kind of switch gears, so leave your tool here and then try to get your fingers kind of started in
Okay.
here and give it that same pry aspect. Okay? Right, 1, 2,
Oh,
3. There you go.
Okay. Yeah, so the first time you take these off, it's definitely going to be a little bit of a challenge.
Right.
Yeah. So then we kind of go
Keep working
over
your way
here.
around. Yep.
Okay.
Keep going, keep going.
Okay.
Pull.
Oh,
There you go.
okay.
All right, so now we get the panel to this point, and we're gonna unplug these clips. So there's a little release clip, and then you're just gonna kind of push in and pull out.
Okay, so there's a tab right there?
Yep.
Okay.
And sometimes the tabs can be colored. Sometimes they can have a locker in them, so it just really depends on
Okay,
the,
that's
the
easy.
connector itself. So
Okay.
there's
And
another
then-
one behind
okay.
here.
Okay.
And then with a 7mm, we're gonna take these screws out that are underneath to hold this plastic piece around.
Okay.
So go ahead and give that a shot. Righty tighty, lefty loosey.
Yep. Ready, steady, lefty, loosey. Nope, maybe we were wrong.
Hold it on there. Go.
Oh, why didn't we just use a screwdriver?
Power tools are more fun.
Oh! Bolt down. We're
That's
good,
it.
I found it.
Right there.
All right, so now that we have everything routed through the back and it's neatly in its little compartment, we're gonna go ahead and put this up
Screen
or
first.
this. Okay,
Yep.
we're gonna do this first step.
Yep.
Alrighty, so we are going to do,
We're gonna go ahead and route,
Okay.
get the LVDS cables and the power cable.
okay.
We're gonna route
and-
those
okay.
up and plug those in. I mean, they're real simple.
Okay, yeah, so it's gray
Okay.
to gray, black to black.
Yep. So at that point, we're gonna take and we're gonna kind of center this in the dash,
Okay,
right?
alrighty. So flip up
Yep.
and then everything will kind of naturally,
Naturally
okay, it'll
fall
go
in
some way.
place.
Okay.
And our last two screws, remember the screws we took out down here, we're gonna
Mm-hmm.
put those back and that secures the screen in place. All right, so that's pretty easy. And then just kind of make sure you tuck the cables back into the dash, slide everything back into place, and boom.
Yeah. Compared to the old one, I feel like this is something that you get in like a Mercedes or a Range Rover. I don't have an aftermarket sound system in here, but this still sounds fantastic after you go in and you start messing with the settings a little bit. I'm not gonna lie, I was like, this is gonna be a little bit too much for me because a lot of companies say that something is plug and play, but it's not. I'm glad that it was plug and play. It's really hard to mess it up. It's color coded. I will say, doing a lot of installs with all my Jeeps, the directions were fantastic. I think the hardest part of the entire install, I would think, was just, and as dumb as this sounds, was pulling off these pieces because they've never been pulled off before. If I were to approach it now, knowing what I know, I 10/10 think I could do it. I don't think I would have an issue at all. I think it's just you get very overwhelmed when you see all that wiring. This is like, to me, a whole new level. This is a whole new level. So I can see literally everything right here, and then I can go through and I can change it too. I like that you can see the pitch and the roll, and then this is cool. The fact that you can now do, and you're watching everything in real time. So definitely a huge thanks to Stinger Off-Road today for walking me through this install. It was 100% plug and play. They made me feel very comfortable. The directions are amazing. If you guys are in the market for anything, check out stingeroffroad.com. They're happy to answer any questions. They have amazing YouTube videos as well. If you guys want to follow my social media handle, NotMJG, on Instagram or Facebook, Michigan Jeep Girl, or even my business, FakeWrenching.com, I'm definitely going to go ahead and be posting updates